tree. All right. So we're going to go into our first one. The first sign that she is unfaithful, you can put it back, is that obviously this is the obvious one: cheating or unfaithfulness. If your woman is cheating or being unfaithful, it is a clear sign that she does not love you. Now, we're going to give you guys some concrete evidence, concrete signs, what that looks like. So we're not just going to just go through real quick, but we want to make sure you can see what that looks like. Now, everybody knows the obvious, right? If your woman is sexually unfaithful, stepping out on her man, or having any type of committing adultery or sleeping with another man, it is clear that she does not love you. That is a clear sign. Once she do it, it's over. It's done. It's just clearly over. All right. So that's fine under the cheat and unfaithfulness category. Number two, in the same category, another point is that not being loyal to your desire. Let me say that again. Not being loyal, faithful to your desire. Let me give you a small example here. Let's say that if I want my woman to, let's say if I want my woman to wear pink socks and yellow socks, I want her to wear a mixed match. I don't want it to match. I don't want pink, pink, yellow, yellow. I want yellow on the right one, and I want pink on the left socks. That's on her feet. That's exactly what I want. Now, some people may think, if I ask Deacon said, well, that's weird. That's not what I like. I like more blue. I don't care what you like. This is what I like. I like to see my woman in a mixed match socks. I want pink and yellow. For some reason, it turns me on. That's what I like. That's what I want. And now she has her favorite color. She wants to do her own thing. If she decides to get matching socks or do what the pastor tells her to do or do what Beyonce or somebody else is doing, guess what? It's a clear sign she does not love you, because she should be loyal to your desire. It doesn't matter what anybody else wants. It's about what you want. And if she can't give you pink socks, yellow socks, exactly the way you want it, or no, the way you described it, then it's a clear sign that she loves you. It may be small. See, a lot of people think that when it's small, it's not a big deal. I'll give you another example. This is a real life example. I experienced this stuff. I wish somebody would have told me this stuff, because I didn't think it was a big deal, but it was a big deal. That's why one of the things you see on our thing is be faithful in the little. I have learned that if you're not faithful with the little, you're not going to be faithful in the big things. Here's another good example. You got an example here that I remember telling this woman that I used to be in a relationship. I was in a relationship with a woman for a long time. I was in a relationship with her, and I didn't want her drinking coffee throughout the week because she loved coffee. Man, she was addicted to coffee. From my perspective, I thought she was addicted to coffee. Now, I know a lot of people love their coffee. I'm not against coffee. I drink coffee from once in the blue moon. I drink coffee if I need it. But she needed her coffee. It didn't matter if she was awake, sleeping. She wanted that coffee. And I wanted her to only have coffee on Saturday. I picked the day. I said Saturday is treat day, is cheat day, treat day, whatever you want to call it. That's the only time you can have your coffee and your chocolate. There was even chocolate in there, but I'm going to just say coffee. So anyway, now people may think, oh, he's controlling, and how come she can't have coffee? What's the big deal, right? So I didn't know this until I ran into a longtime friend. I ran into a long-term friend and said, oh, she asked me, yeah, I remember when you used to be with that woman, with your girlfriend. I remember sometime when I would come over to hang out with her, she would ask me to pick up some Starbucks coffee during the week. And I knew you didn't like it, but we all just joked around thinking it wasn't a big deal. Like, yeah, Kabir, Kabir. He just, I don't know. He's making a big deal. He's too anal. That's the word. He was too anal, So she would be drinking coffee in front of our mutual friend. We had a mutual friend, and she didn't think it was a big deal. And guess what? You find out that's cheating. See, some people will not think that. See, people think cheating is just when you're sleeping with another man or sleeping outside the relationship. But that's cheating because she disobeyed my command. She was not loyal to my desire. I didn't want her drinking coffee throughout the week except on Saturday. That's the day that I wanted her to drink coffee. She wanted to drink it outside. So that is a sign she doesn't love you. I know, as small as it may be, it has to be revolved around that man. All right. Point number three. Point number three. You may hear this. My husband needs prayer. Now they come to the pastor or to their girlfriend. Can you please pray for my husband? Right? Oh, hold on. Before I go into that one point, we do have a passage on that one. Deacon, can you pull up 16, Luke 16, verse 10 about that? Yep, this is it right here. Read.
He that is faithful in that which is least is faithful also in much, and he that is unjust in the least is unjust also in much.
All right, so there you go. So even Yeshua says, if you're not faithful with the least, you're not going to be faithful when it's a lot, right? You're not going to be faithful just because all of a sudden, if you're not faithful with the penny, don't think you're going to be faithful when you get $1 million. Guys, I'm a financial advisor. In my own professional opinion, and I more than I can't, give my professional opinion without it being cleared, but I think this is basic advice here. If you're not faithful with $1, I have seen this 100%. I've never seen where somebody is unfaithful with $1 and all of a sudden they're faithful with millions of dollars. Look at so many people in NFL. You can talk to the director of financial who gives out all the Pell Grants or scholarship checks to the players. And she always says, I can always tell you who's going to be broke in the NFL when their career is over. I remember my college one told me, Kabir, you're going to be very good. Why? Because you never asked me to pay you early so you could pay your rent. It seems like for whatever reason, you never need the money. You always get the money when we hand it out. A lot of people always comes in a week later, a week early, a month early, asking, can I please get my money? I'm going to get evicted. I need my money now and stuff like that. I've never asked for it in advance because I was already faithful with the little I had. And so then when I got the millions, guess what? Nothing changed. I did the same thing I did with the million that I did with my $1. So the same thing is true in the relationship. If the woman is not going to be faithful even in the little things, even what the world may call little, it should be a big deal because you asked her to do it. And if she doesn't do it, she doesn't love you. That's a clear sign. All right, move on to the next one. So the next one, you may have a woman going to the pastor or going to her girlfriend or going to some spiritual guy and say, can you please pray for my husband? See, she goes in there looking like she wants to pray for her husband under the guise that she's looking for help. But in actuality, that is a clear sign she doesn't love you. Because what that does is she's literally shaming her husband. If you want to pray for your husband, you pray for your husband. You don't need to go to other people and say, oh, yeah, can you pray for my husband? He's dealing with this and this and that. That's no one's business unless he's told you to go and ask people to pray for him. So if you're going around and praying and asking people to pray for your husband, it's a clear sign that this woman does not love you. Do you want to add to that, Deacon?
No, I mean, I think you're right. I think that that's an easy way to kind of be a covert, narcissistic type of person is where you're coming in and like, well, like, what's wrong? Oh no, nothing. What's wrong? I just pray for my husband. Well, what's going on? Well, he just, he's dealing with this, but it's in the guise of help and prayer, right? So the person receiving this information is thinking like, okay, well, yeah, I mean, it's not bad to pray, right? Yeah. But really, she's just gossiping. She's telling something that should be kept within the relationship, unless the husband directs for a different position. Mm-hmm. But if she hasn't given that direction, she hasn't been given that direction, she should go home and talk to her husband.
I remember when I was playing with the Green Bay Packers, and it was my rookie year. I think it was my rookie. I just became a Christian. And I remember going to my first Bible study, and one of our teammates' girlfriend was at the Bible study. No, they weren't even at the Bible study. But one of our teammates' girlfriend, which was another wife or something, was telling the group and saying, hey, guys, pray for such and such. Let's say it's like Deacon. Let's say Deacon was playing ball. But one of another, like somebody else's wife said, hey, I talked to David's wife, and she said, pray for her husband. He's in jail because, spouse, something. She was just asking for prayer. And I remember, like, not that he got arrested or anything, but I remember now, guys, I was like a little baby, and sometimes my mind is like that. Really, it's not like a little baby. I just think that my mind was just always been concrete. I think maybe because of my background, the way I grew up with my Nigerian parents, I don't know, but I've always had this concrete. But I remember just saying that I didn't even know how I called it, but I said, isn't this gossip? Like, how do we know this to be true? And bro, you saw the Christians. I remember it was some guys, they said, guys, no, this is how we know what to pray for. I said, but we're praying for something and we don't even know if it's true or not. And you're only going off of the testimony of this woman based off of talking to her wife. And we don't even, and it's putting him in a negative light. I remember saying that. They said, no, Kabir, you're being too legalistic. You're being too black and white. You see, this is why I want to come against this black and white, because this is the type of stuff that we're taught, that if you're black and white, if you're too legalistic, that you're wrong. No, it's right. It's the right way of thinking. Just like what Jesus says, you will know them by their fruit. Just like you look at a tree, you can tell if it's good or bad. And I just asked a question. I literally said, is this not gossip? And they shut me down and explained to me, you're just a baby Christian. This is what we got to do so we know what to pray for. So anyway, I don't want to, continue belaboring. I just want to give you guys, this is a clear sign. If she's going around asking for people to pray for her about you, it's a clear sign she does not love you, straight up, unless it was directed by her. You ask, hold up, did your husband know that you're telling us to pray for this? Did you ask his permission? That's the first thing you stop that person right there if somebody's doing that to you in that regard. But if she's going around doing that, so yeah, I prayed for you about such and so. Your wife told us to pray for you. Is a clear sign she doesn't love you. You should write in a note, this woman does not love me, right there. All right, the next one is, next point under the same category of cheating and unfaithfulness. It says this can look like she's getting advice. If your woman, now the world will say wife, but if your woman, it doesn't matter, but if your woman that you have a relationship with is going around and getting advice from other men or other women without your permission, it is a clear sign she does not love you. Hey, we got a scripture to back that up. Deacon, please read out of 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 35.
And if they will learn anything,
clear word, anything, not some things, not half things, not just woman issue. Well, okay, but how about if it's woman issue? No, you ask him anything. Read.
let them ask their husbands at home.
At home. Why do I got home? Because that lets you know it should be done in private. It shouldn't be done in the open. Well, honey, how about this? And you ask him a question and you're putting them on the spot. And now everybody's looking like, yeah, what is that? No, you ask your question, and don't be going around asking the question in front of the pastor or in front of somebody or trying to embarrass him by your questioning. I've seen that. It's wicked. It's a clear sign she does not love you. Clear sign that she doesn't love you. Read.
For it is a shame for women to speak in the church or something.
You guys hear that? See, in the assembly, it's a clear sign she's shaming this woman. For it is a shame for a woman to speak like that. If you have a question, if your woman is asking questions and she's making you and asking questions in front of people or going around asking people, or even, I'll give another example. This is a big one in Christianity, where they be listening to Tony Evans or what's that woman's name that looks like the Joker? What's that woman? Joyce Myers. Joyce Myers, or all these women. They listen to all these people, but they don't go and ask their husband for permission to even listen to this stuff. Like, for example, my women, I tell them, hey, I want you to listen to sister. See, they're listening to it because I want them to listen to it. They're listening to Pastor Dow because I'm telling them, I've directed what I want them to listen to. And if there's something that I like that I want them to listen to, I tell them to listen to it, and then we talk about those things. See, there's nothing wrong with listening to somebody, but it needs to be. But if she's going around listening to other people and they say, hey, well, such and such says this, and I asked Charlie, or I asked Shaquita, or I asked the pastor, or the whatever, it's a clear sign she does not love you. It's a clear sign. So these are all forms of cheating and being unfaithful. And if you see these things, don't doubt your gut. That spirit within you is telling you that she's cheating. We have a spirit, us men, Yah has given us the spirit of jealousy, a spirit. So when you feel something is not right, you say, wait a minute, and you know it, but we've been taught to ignore it. We've been taught to say, nah, you just being jealous, you being insecure. If you are sensing that your woman is cheating, don't ignore it. That is there to warn you that that woman does not love you. That's a clear sign.